Stro. Guys, thanks for sponsoring the Barters Fantasy Network, Touchy TV, Feed Studios, North Sound, Touchy Dream TV, My Geeky, and Nerd Asteroid. And thanks to our staff, Nick Simone, Ursula Fairweather, Tommy Neatly House, and Lane Lynch. Guys, today is Monday. It is time for D6 Arcade. Today, we're going to do podcast style. We're going to talk about a lot of things going on in the nerd community, a lot of our favorite shows. We're going to go over them today. And it's going to be the first thing that we go over. Then we're going to play Skipper Dungeon. And then, as always, we're going to be doing Roll and Rumble. And our Patreon fighters out there, if you're there, please check in with Tom right now. Let him know that you are actually on the show. You'll be with us today in Roll and Rumble later on. We appreciate it. So, guys, welcome to the show. We're going to get started right now, guys. Hope your weekend was pretty good. Mine was great.
There's a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about first?
I don't know. What about
You know what I always like to talk about?
what?
Star Wars.
So yeah, we could, let's do Star Wars. So you guys have watched Tales of the Jedi, and
Yes.
I have.
tell us about Tales of the Jedi a little bit without spoiling for anybody. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to live through you, and then we'll take it from there.
Do we want to keep it spoiler free?
I guess so. Like, just talk about like why you like it, what's going on.
Okay.
You want to kick it off?
Sure.
So what is it about?
So Tales of the Jedi, for those of you who haven't watched it yet, it's an animated series on Disney Plus. It's, I believe, 6 episodes, and they're very short form. Let's say each
20
episode's
minutes or less.
Yeah, like 15 to 20 minutes every episode. Like I said, I believe there are 6 episodes, and 3 of them are centered around Ahsoka Tano.
4, I think.
4?
I think it's 4.
I thought it was 3 and 3.
I don't
Okay,
know.
well, whatever. Some of them are centered around Ahsoka's story, and some of them are centered around Count Dooku. I loved it because, I was able to just kind of burn through every episode in one sitting. You know, everybody in my house, everybody had gone to bed, and I said, "Hey, let me find something to put on." And they were great. You just kind of speed right through them. I do love to see animated stuff, just because I feel like it's so much easier to open up the world to whatever. But I kind of saw a very clear delineation between the Ahsoka episodes and the Count Dooku episodes. I thought the Ahsoka episodes were kind of I feel like nothing was revealed about her character that really made me want to know more about her, or interested me in the character even more. But the Dooku episodes, I absolutely loved. I was always kind of Dooku was okay to me as a character. Didn't love him, didn't hate him. But this stuff made him such a much, much more interesting character. What did you think, Damien?
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, we definitely got some great Dooku story, to fill in things that we didn't know about previously. And it was really great to see that. And even the young Qui-Gon, in there. And I thought the Ahsoka episodes were okay. I wasn't crazy about the first one, but there was some interesting things in there. I felt like most of the episodes gave us some nice, you could call it backstory, or sort of maybe additional, I don't know, story, however you want to put it, but they gave us some more. They added to these characters. They added to the story, and mostly in sort of the earlier parts of these character stories, but it gave us more, and I thought they're really well done. I also felt like they did a nice job with the animation. I thought they upped their game once again. Everything that comes out, Disney Star Wars, it seems like they're always trying to push it a little bit. Each episode, or I should say, each season of Clone Wars to Rebels, then to Bad Batch. Now we have these, and they're always pushing that animation style. I thought some of the shots in this series were really beautiful looking, and they really try to give it sort of a very sort of organic kind of look. Some of it looks like it's painted with a brush, but clearly it's digital. I mean, I assume it's all digital. I mean, I
think to this day and age, everything
pretty
is
much
digital.
everything digital, right? But maybe they are using, who knows how they're getting some of that effect. But you could see almost, like I said, almost like brush strokes, and the quality of the animation and the imagery is just really pretty, what they're doing with it. Really beautiful stuff,
So I have a question, since we're talking about animation. We've all seen animation stuff. Pixar, like Catherine, you've seen Pixar movies in your day, and I'm sure lots of different things, WALL-E and anything else that come out, Cars movies and such. Do you ever get sick of any of the animation or the cartoon, or ever like are so aware of it that it bothers you? Anybody?
Can't say I do. No.
So for me, the animation on Bad Batch and for Clone Wars that they use, for some reason, because I'm so excited to watch it, but once I get a few episodes in, I get like some sort of animation fatigue.
Like animation burnout?
Yeah, and I don't know, I want to watch it, but like something about it just gets to me, and then like I don't want to watch the rest. And I can only pinpoint the fact that it's the animation. And I thought it was just Clone Wars, but then Bad Batch, I was watching it, and I was like, it's pretty good, but then I just get burnt, and I don't understand why.
See, like when you're talking about it, like I now that you mention it, like I never feel like I reach the point where I'm at like I'm aware that I'm watching an animated series rather than a live action series.
Right.
You know, like I kind of can get lost in the story, I guess, to that effect. But like there are some points where like you said, with the the beautiful like establishing shots of some of the planets that we saw in Tales of the Jedi, those are the only points where I feel like, wow, like that's very, very impressive. Where I kind of my mind starts to wander, and I say like, if this was live action, how expensive would it be to do something like that, or would they even be able to do something like that if this wasn't all just artwork rather than real life shots?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited for Tales of the Jedi. Is it the animation style of Bad Batch and Clone Wars, or is it something different?
I'd say it's pretty much the same, if not a slight sort of next gen or step up from those.
Right, the evolution of that style.
Yeah, the natural evolution of that style, I would say.
Yeah.
If anything.
But I was telling Damien before, like I felt like there were some Dooku scenes in the Dooku stories.
Dooku.
that would have made Phantom Menace and even Attack of the Clones like a lot better. Not just giving you more backstory about Dooku, but also like giving you more information about how and why the Republic had become so corrupt and why Dooku had become so upset with the Jedi Order.
Right.
That's without going into it too much and without giving you some spoilers. Like I was like that. Really impressed me to say, like, Phantom Menace came out, whatever it was, 23 years ago, and to now give me something relevant to that story to continue building on it, like, that was impressive, and that was fun.
Coming from 7-4, he says, Tony is just getting old. Yeah, maybe.
Aren't we all?
Jason says, I think CGI animation is overused these days. I miss old school Disney-style 2D animation. Yeah, they had the Planescape, the camera. I think I forget the exact name of it. I think it's something like that, where they had the 4 different levels of all the palettes that they would shoot from to get like a parallax. Like this incredible animation they would do that would take them forever to do it, and they actually literally built their own style out of animation to do it.
Oh, wow.
And it was revolutionary at its time, and it was amazing. And now, obviously, their animation is great, but obviously, it's still painstaking to do that. And I think that it's a lot easier to do Bad Batch and the way they're doing that animation right now. I know South Park, the way they shoot, I think they were banging them out in like a week.
Something like that. It's a very quick
And Family
process.
Guy is like months.
Yeah.
Well, there's that special on HBO
That's
Max.
what I'm referring to. Yeah.
With South Park. Yeah, that's amazing. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out, just to see like the process of them creating a whole show in whatever it is, 6 days, 7 days, whatever it is. Yeah,
it's great because they can be topical. They can something can come up and they can get it out in the next week or two.
I think a lot of the shows have sped up their process. I mean, I don't know where we are at with, like, say, Family Guy and The Simpsons right now, but I know, like, The Simpsons, years ago, it took months and months to get like one episode. I'm pretty sure they have it narrowed down to like to a quicker process now. I don't know if it's a month or weeks or what I don't know what it is currently. But I know it's much faster. As far I see the question.
Mr. Art's coming in for Scroll.
Oh, cool.
Who would you want them to expand on in the show?
Man, that's a really good question. I don't know. We've gotten a lot. I feel like this Tales of the Jedi series so far, it's it's kind of centered amongst like in the prequel era, we'll say. As far as the characters and stories. I guess from that era, I wouldn't mind seeing more of some of the other Jedi Masters, and maybe some of their stories. I mean, I think it's great what we got so far, but like, I think it'd be cool to see more of like Kit Fisto.
I knew you were going to say
Plo
that. I was literally
Koon.
waiting for
Kit
Kit Fisto. I was waiting for you to say Kit Fisto.
Not for nothing, but his episode of the 2003 Clone Wars series, which is also 2D animation, which
Right.
is really cool style of animation, the Tartakovsky show. He's got his own little episode in that's I think really stands out, and all those are really good. But yeah, that's a character I wouldn't mind seeing more of, or even like I said, some of the other Jedi Masters, Plo Koon maybe, or
Yeah.
I think it's awesome we got to see some Yaddle in Tales of the Jedi. That was very
Yeah.
cool. I'm not going to spoil anything with
That's
that.
like,
but,
that's like a good Yaddle.
but there's a character that I would. That's awesome that we got to see a little bit more of that character's story. When you only just see like a little bit in the movies. Yeah, 2003 Clone Wars is one of my favorites. So that's great. And as much as I'd like to say Yoda, I would never, because Yoda's one of those characters that we don't need to see more of or learn more about. I'm still with I'm still old school like that, with George Lucas's like original idea with him, as far as like, we're not gonna know where he's from and all about his species. And now we got Grogu, and we're learning all about him, and it's fine, like it's all good. But like, I don't think we need to name their species, and I don't really need.
Right.
I don't need to see Yoda home planet. Like, I don't need to see any of that stuff. I know people want to see it, but I don't need to see it. Whatever. That's me. That's how I feel about it. But that could change, obviously. But Yoda's a character. I feel like the less we know, the better. You got to leave some of that mystery in there. Mystery makes it good.
I think I agree.
Like, yeah.
So let's go. We'll come back to Star Wars after. Let's go over to Henry Cavill is apparently off Witcher right now.
Oh,
and I have a lot of feelings about this because I think Witcher is such a good series, and people were worried. Anybody watch Enola Holmes?
Oh,
not the second one
I
that
saw
just
the
came out.
first one,
First one
and
I
I
saw.
saw like part of the second one. I saw like the beginning of it.
So Enola Holmes, it's good because it's. I feel like it's a show that like everybody can watch. It's about
Good family kind of
Yeah,
Sherlock mystery,
and it's
thing.
more like Sherlock Holmes, but they made it more for like maybe the girls to like it, but also
Younger
It's got a
kids,
young
too.
modern audience. I feel like
Right.
target.
But that's probably how it
yeah.
draws you in. But like watching it, whoever you are, doesn't matter because you're gonna love it. And Henry Cavill's a big part of it. He plays Sherlock, and Millie Bobby Brown plays Enola, his sister. So it's really good. And they were worried that him pulling out a Witcher meant something versus Netflix, and apparently that it may put the third one in danger. They want to do because the first one did very well. Now the second one I imagine is doing very well.
They're
But
looking to do a third Enola Holmes. Is that what
they're
you're saying?
thinking about it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably
I'm not surprised.
no. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what it is. In this one, they bring in some important characters. I'll say without ruining it. And they're obviously playing for the future, so I think they're definitely like, here's 2, and let's get ready for 3 immediately. So people were worried about that, but also it seems the news coming out is that he just couldn't do, and this is all guesses, of course, he couldn't do Witcher and also go back to being Superman. For production reasons.
So you think he is going to go back to being Superman? Is
I
that, like,
think
what's
so.
happening? Is that the word?
I think that's what's happening.
I don't know
think
if that's the rumor.
That's what's been out there for a little bit, and I think that. And tell you the truth, I'll talk about that for a second. I think that was all kind of like an agreement that he did a long time ago, because it kind of felt like that. It was. You remember when everything was on shaky ground? It's kind of always on shaky ground, right? The DC, but it was on shaky ground after the Justice League. And it seemed like there was a lot of limbo going on, and I think it felt like they were just like, "Listen, Henry, just go." They made it like he's leaving, and they made it like he's going, but it felt to me, I immediately was like, I feel like they're just going to bring him back, but they're not going to hang him on. It's no good for him to be in limbo on this project that could fall, and he's
Right.
like sitting there like this, waiting for it. So they need to let him go, and like we'll call you back whenever they want to. And you felt like all the movies, like they didn't want to say, like yes, they did another Batman movie, but they didn't want to say that like they didn't want to kick anything back off. They didn't want to restart it. So they did the Aquaman movie, they did Shazam movie, and you could feel like they're just drawing out time to kind of let things come back together for this moment. And when it happened, I was like, exactly what I thought was gonna happen is what's happening now. So they're bringing him back in, and I think that it's just a production schedule. It is not going to line up between that and The Witcher. Which is a shame because I think it's going to be. I hate when they switch actors, and I know sometimes you have to, but it's gonna. It literally, I probably won't even watch it. That's how much it bothers me.
Really?
Yeah. Do you guys?
See, I think The Witcher is one of those kinds of stories where they could probably get away with it.
You have to go back to a prequel or go somewhere else or make something happen to make it work.
But
for me,
I don't know, because like The Witcher, like that character and the whole thing, I almost feel like they could get away with it. Like he could either be like, I don't know.
Right.
What are they saying?
I completely agree with Charles.
It should have been a different hunter and not just change again.
Yeah, Charles. So Charles, for those that are listening right now, I don't mind Henry being off Witcher, he says, but it should be a different hunter and not just change the character. Absolutely. He backs out, and then you have a different character. Expand the universe.
Kind of like takes that role over or whatever.
That's fine.
I mean, there's supposed to be other Witchers, right? Yes.
The commenting before about
yes,
Yoda.
That's part of it for sure. And we don't need more infighting with Star Wars fans. We fight constantly as it is. That's like one of the the issues of being a Star Wars fan these days. It's like, oh, let's argue about which parts of Star Wars we don't like.
Yes.
Instead of just enjoying the parts that we do.
Kevin says Liam is going to be a weak Geralt, and I don't know. I just think I don't want anyone, even if they were amazing, it would bother me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So does that bother anybody else, Kath? Does that bother you? Do you have any shows or movies you ever seen anyone change the actor on? Oh, you're off? Good.
No, but I feel the same way you do.
It takes you out of it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially even like with like Robert Pattinson, seeing him as Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, Batman. Just like no, immediately no.
Yeah,
that TikTok.
It definitely is hard to get used to every new Batman that comes in there because you have to have like an adjusting phase.
There's been a lot of
like how is he Batman? I thought somebody else was Batman. Isn't there one Batman? Like
at least you
so many.
Yeah, at least you weren't really paying attention probably in the 90s when it was just like weird time for Batman.
And a lot of them. There was just a lot of different ones.
Yeah,
but you also like that the actor like brings that's what creates the character's picture in your head.
Absolutely.
So then when you're thinking about the show, you're just going to switch it in your head?
Right. Exactly. And
it makes it tough.
What Charles was saying is switch the story, like go over here and then come back to that later. I would 100% prefer that. Then I'm with you. And I know like there was the other show, was it not Spartacus. What's a show where the actor he had cancer, he had to stop the show?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes. Come on.
Really?
The fans will know.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I can't think of the name of the show.
I probably would have said Spartacus too.
I don't know. Spartacus.
Captivating conversations.
But they had to switch him out because for health reasons. What are you going to do? Right. I know in the latest show with COVID coming into play for Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
The main actor who played Matt. Right, had to be switched out, and that's because whatever happened because of the scheduling conflicts or whatever was behind the scenes, and that's rough on a show. Besides all the serious issues like that, forgetting the serious life issues like that.
Right,
we're just talking about the fantasy enjoyment.
Yes,
it's rough. It's because what are you going to do when Spartacus? Yeah, it was Spartacus.
It was Spartacus.
Yes,
all right.
Spartacus.
Oh, we got it.
I got it right.
With the Wheel of Time casting with Matt though. My wife Jen does a Wheel of Time podcast called Talk Around Riyadh. So like I kind of by like association, kind of like stay on top of that stuff.
It's an awesome podcast, too.
Where can they get the podcast?
On
your local podcast.
All the places
on the internet.
Where they always get the podcasts.
It's called Talk Around Riyadh. But I think they've released some photos of Matt, and like so far it's like a pretty decent reaction. Like there's like, hey, he looks okay. Like he looks
like the new
good.
Actor looks like the old actor. Is that what you're saying? Or
like he kind of looks like him, but at the same time still has like a good look for the character for Matt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember in Game of Thrones when they switched out the mercenary that was with Daenerys. I can't remember. So many people I can't remember the name right now, but that bothered me.
Dario?
Yes.
Yeah. That was odd.
It was odd. And they've been a few characters. They switched out the Mountain, too, I know.
Did they?
Yeah,
think so
there was,
early on.
there was a first mountain, and then there was a second mountain.
I think
and then they
so.
had a mountain range.
See now, but how do you feel about them switching actresses with the time jumps in House of the Dragon?
Yeah, not crazy about it.
I have not watched House of the Dragon because
Okay.
I've been watching so much other nerd shows that just went to the side.
Yeah.
So I'll answer that with The Crown. You know, The Crown is about obviously about the Queen and when she started out and going forward, and eventually they came to season 3 or 4, whatever it was, and they switched the actress completely. And I love the first actress, and the second actress, I'm like, and it just, for me, it took a lot of the life out of the show. But she's good. You watch it, and she's still good, and I'm still watching it, and I still enjoy it. But it's always a thing. Rhodey in Iron
That's
Man.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he's like, what are you doing here? He goes, listen, I'm here. It's me. And he goes, deal with it. You know, and like they're answering it right there. And that, again, that is hard to deal with. You know, like I almost want to fund, like, you know, let's fix it with some CGI work and let's work it out. Let's bring him back into the first one. You know, deep fake it. You know, but I don't know.
It was strange.
Nerd problems. That's what Richie
just to
Castellano
go
would call
back
it.
to House of the Dragon for a minute, and that switch of characters and actors, that was a little odd because they changed some people, but not everybody, and like there's so many characters in the world of Game of Thrones to begin with that once you start changing actors, it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to follow who is who now? You know, like that's how I felt when they did it in that show. It was like, oh, I gotta like figure out who everybody is again now, you know,
Yes.
and
every name sounds exactly the same.
a lot of the names do
all the
sound
Aegons,
similar.
all the Aemons, all the Daemons,
Right.
all the
Yeah. So, right, and they like we said, like they didn't change everybody, which I'm glad because if they took Matt Smith off the show, I don't know if I'd still be watching it because he's like one of the reasons to watch that show, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see what else we got.
Todd's kind of saying, damn it, I want to spread rumors, but that's not looking good for a show with such a huge portion of the fan base being fans of the previous content, too. Yes, it's tricky. Let's go on over to... We have Kevin Conroy died. He's 66 years old.
Batman
Speaking of
actors.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been practicing my Kevin Conroy impression in the car,
Huh.
and I only can say one word. That's all I got. You ready? Want to hear it?
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Joker.
it's not bad. It's not bad.
So you just drive and you're just repeating
He's
the
just
word
going, Joker.
Yes.
over and over.
I might have said it 50-something times.
You said it like
What's the Kevin Conroy percentage? I'll put it like
Let the audience...
percentage of what?
Kevin Conroy.
Of his impression.
40%, maybe.
Oh, come on.
Oh, at least I'm gonna give him 50 or
Want me
better.
to- you want me to hear it again? Say it again for you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Joker. No. It was better before.
It was better before.
Joker. It's different
Pretty
because on here it's different.
It is.
Listen,
You have to practice.
it feels better. It feels better when I can hear it in the room. 5%, Charles.
Ouch.
Charles, you can't watch the show anymore. You're
5%.
You're fired. You're fired.
I'll give him 50.
50. Thank you. I'll
But
take
it's
50.
funny because like we're talking about all the different actors that played Batman.
And there you
just
go.
10 minutes ago. You know.
Yes.
I mean, talk about the iconic voice. of
Yes. So
Batman,
Kevin Conroy,
you
for
know.
those who don't know, he played Batman for... I love the fact that he appeared on one show and then he was playing him on the next show. And that just brought... For me, again, that's what drew me to the next show because it was the same Batman. If you hear a different voice, like a lot of DC movies, they'll have one and they're separated and they're like one-offs, right? And then you have to get used to the new relationships. It's kind of like watching the old Care Bears movies in the late 80s when they kept switching up the damn Care Bear lines of how they meet.
Wow. I don't think I was paying that close of attention.
I was paying attention.
I was going to say, like, I don't remember.
A young Tony Hansen was getting very upset because in one version, the Care Bear cousins they all know each other and they're cousins and they have the emblems on their chest. And the other version, they meet them and they get the emblems on their chest. Get your shit together. Who's
so
running
upset about
who's
the
running
Care
this?
Bears.
Who's running the Care Bear
For
verse?
so long.
That's all I want to say.
Man.
That's all I want to say.
I
But-
admire your dedication to the fandom of.
I was a very
Six Arcade,
Bears.
we're checking in on the Care Bear fandom.
I was a-
Yeah. Check it in.
we got something for everybody today.
I mean, and like speaking of which, like I'll go into one of my pet peeves. It's like you have a guy like as talented and as well known as Kevin Conroy, But the thing that annoys me is that like you have a guy like Kevin Conroy who's not only a professional, not only trained, and not only is able to create this iconic voice for an iconic character, but like you look at the most popular animated movies and it's all just like the same guys who are the live action actor. Like everything is. Everything is Chris Pratt. Everything is Dwayne Johnson. Everything is Kevin Hart. Like I don't like. I see them in every single movie that's released. I don't need to hear their voices. And I'm sorry. Like I would love to see a Mario Brothers movie. I don't need a Mario that sounds exactly like Star-Lord. Like that's not why I'm going to see Super Mario Brothers.
I think Mario
Mushroom
should sound,
Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah.
He should sound more like Tony Soprano than.
Catherine, how do you
know
feel
why.
about Chris Pratt playing the voice of
Badly.
Mario?
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think it's very bad.
It's rough. Because, they obviously passed over the guy who does the voice of Mario in Mario Kart and all the games and things like that. I imagine if he heard that when that movie was coming down the pipeline, he's like,
Right, there you go.
paycheck,
Hey,
what
hey,
the
I'm
hell?
the guy.
Yeah.
He was rolling ready. He's like, here we go.
But maybe
It's Mario.
maybe that's like too like high pitched of a version of Mario. Like maybe
They could've just
maybe
done
that's
anyone
like
but
video
Chris Pratt.
game Mario.
I get it.
Instead of movie Mario, and I could see.
Everyone, and people keep saying, they could say, I get it. And I get it as well. The first thing I said was, I get it. And I told my wife, and I tested it out. I go, Teresa, what do you think? I go, Mario Bros. Movie's coming out. She goes, oh, okay, that's cool. I go, Chris Pratt is playing Mario. She goes, oh. Because the fact you said Chris Pratt's playing it, definitely want to see it. And I go, that's what's wrong. That's why they're doing what they're doing.
You say wrong, but I think a lot of people see dollar signs and see like, that's what's right about it because that movie's now going to have a bigger audience. Maybe
it would have
because it's
been.
him.
It would have been this bubble. It would have been a bubble, and maybe it would have been really big, but it would have had to come out of that bubble to start with, like with a minus.
Right.
With Chris Pratt, you're starting with a plus. With a plus.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they're starting.
I
with
know
a
you don't think
minus.
so, but I
No.
think in the eyes of the general public, I think it is.
yeah, so
I
people
mean,
who don't care.
I understand you don't want to hear
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, Dan.
We all hate it.
But like
I think
then go just create a franchise where you're going to say this character is going to be voiced by Chris Pratt because that's what they do anyway.
Right, but like
every single animated movie has to just have the most popular names right there on the billboard.
Yeah, they
if
like
you're
that.
going to grab
That
a
sells
franchise
tickets.
that already has an iconic voice, take that iconic voice
Yeah.
who's been voicing Mario forever. And even if it's too much to go woo-hoo-hoo-hoo for a 2-hour movie, just tell him
Rate that. What percentage? Charles? James?
I think that was pretty good.
Like
but
this, like the guy who
know.
does the voice of Mario is not just a guy who sits in front of a mic and does hoo-hoo-hoo. Like he is a trained professional
worse.
voice actor.
40%, Dan.
All right.
40%.
No.
But if like to tell the guy like, hey, we need you to do Mario, but tone it down so it's not like
Yeah.
this.
Right. We want it to be a little bit more serious.
Exactly.
Mario.
Make it
Mario
a little more grounded
next
for an hour and a half
generation.
or a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
But like to just have Chris Pratt like land in the Mushroom Kingdom. Whoa.
AFW's got a point. you
James
know?
James Cordani saying, but Dan, they have the plus of having an iconic character with an iconic actor.
I think
I-
they're
the
seeing
two just
I
don't
think
match.
that
It's
they're
like
looking
so-
at that
yeah.
and saying dollar signs. We got
That's
Chris Pratt's
it.
going to bring in people, and the fact that it's Mario is going to bring in people. And I think that with the way that they make movies today, they need that. I think that if they said like, oh well, we're just going to go and make this Mario movie that the most dedicated fans are really going to appreciate all that we've done. I think they won't get the numbers, for the general population. Like other people aren't going to go see it.
So let's flip it on its head right now, right?
Okay.
You're Chris Pratt.
I'm Chris
And
Pratt.
I go, hello, Chris Pratt. I want to offer you this new movie. I'm from the 30s, obviously. And it's Super Mario Brothers. Do you think you'd be right for the movie? You want to play it? I'm going to give you $10 million.
So now you're asking, like, this is 2022 and...
Yes, I just sound like I'm from the 30s.
Chris Pratt. I'm not going to say no.
Exactly.
Right.
Of course I'm going to say yes.
Of course.
And that's the thing. So Dan Isgro,
Yeah.
you're a voice actor. For those who don't know, Dan Isgro's a voice actor.
Sure.
And they come along and they say to you, Dan, will you please play Mario?
I feel like Dan.
You're
could
not
do a
gonna
better
say
Mario
sure?
than Chris
There's
Pratt.
no way you say no.
No, there is no way I would say. There is no way I would say no, but I would lose a lot of sleep over it. A lot of sleep.
Yeah, you'd be like,
come on,
you lose
Dan.
a lot of sleep, but you sleep on your millions of dollars. Oh, I can't sleep. Could you move that $1,000 away? Oh yeah, it's much better now. It's a me,
But, like, so-
Dan Isgro.
So, but now, like, when the movie's about to come out and Chris Pratt's doing he's doing Kimmel and he's doing all the late night talk show.
Yeah.
Do you think like
You think he's going to be doing all the late night shows for Mario Brothers? Really?
Yes, he's going
I
to.
don't know. Maybe.
Wait a second.
I mean,
Oh,
I
man.
think there'll be
Well,
a
then why'd
press
they
tour,
spend all the
but
money on him? Get him even
no,
if
no,
he's not
he's
gonna promote
definitely a
it.
draw.
He'll be
He's
on
going to
every
promote.
single
I don't
show
know.
there is.
It's not, it is
100%.
a kids movie, isn't it? I mean, like, I'm just saying there might not be quite as much as like. I mean, who's this movie really going to be targeted towards?
why
Everybody.
Is it for everybody?
The same way
It's-
when comics came out many
Okay.
years ago, they grow up and now they're sharing with their kids. It's a perfect
Yeah.
time to release the movies.
And
All
it's
right.
also like when it comes to kids movies, you don't market to kids. You market to parents because parents
right.
are taking
They're the
kids.
ones
Right.
buying the
And-
tickets.
and if
I gotcha.
And if I had a son who was old enough, I would definitely be like, let's go see a Nintendo movie because I want to share with him. That's 2 or 3 tickets easily right there.
Right.
That's what they're doing. Yes, it's smart. Yes, it makes sense.
All right.
But
It's infuriating.
it's infuriating. But you did say you would take the job.
Of course.
It's a completely unrealistic situation.
But you're infuriating. It's mad. You're mad. Who are you mad at? Who are you mad at?
I'm not mad at Chris Pratt. I'll tell you that much.
So you mad at that they offered
What if
the
it
Chris
was a
Pratt?
character that was further
meta
away
casting.
from like what would be appropriate for you to play? Like I don't know if we should go down this road, but like
No, let's do it.
Mario's good because I feel like
I'm excited.
Your last name ends in a vowel. Come on,
Sure.
let's be clear here. I think that you could easily play an Italian guy. That's fine. Yeah.
All right.
So is there a character that you wouldn't say yes to? That's my kind of question.
Desmond says, if it's any consolation, Mary's voice is one of top 4 Hollywood Chris's. Yes.
Oh, Hollywood Chris. I thought.
The
Oh, okay.
Chris's.
Yeah.
I looked at it
Chris's.
quick. I thought it said crises. I was like, this is absolutely a crisis.
This is a crisis.
Mario proportions.
It's a Hollywood crisis.
I
by
tell you
Hollywood
this, like,
Chris.
if someone came to me and said, we're doing an Indiana Jones animated series, would you like to be the voice of Indiana Jones? I would say, let's do it. Come on.
course.
So
Absolutely.
Dan is also, we're going to give a lot of information for Dan about
What if
Dan
they
today.
asked you to
Dan
play
is
short
also,
round?
Dan is also a big Indiana Jones nut. And so you would.
What if they asked you to play short round in the animated series?
I would feel uncomfortable playing short round.
This is my question.
I would say, like, I mean, no, I don't. I can't do that. I would.
Would you say no? Really?
I would probably.
They're offering you
I
big,
would say
big
no.
He would say
contract.
yes.
Can't do
You
it.
would say
He would
yes,
say-
and if you didn't
You
hear
didn't
yes,
know that
you
until-
wouldn't hear the end of it from the rest of us forever.
One good conversation and a couple $1 million. Dan comes out. I wasn't going to do it, but
I did it.
Can.
Who's the next short
Wait, so
round?
no. There's a lot that goes along with casting short round
I'm sure there
Tell
is,
us.
Yeah.
because how can I put this?
No, you can't.
I just
Please zoom in on Dan.
it's a. I mean, let's remember, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom came out in 1984.
Uh-huh.
Much different world in
Uh-huh.
1984.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So if short round shows up whether in live action or anime or any kind of in any
Sarah Forrest didn't Harrison Ford recently say that Indiana Jones should die with short round?
I think that
No, I think Indiana
not
Jones
with
dies with
short
Harrison
round.
Ford.
With I think
with
yeah.
him. I think with short
And
round
I
in the
think
movie.
that's still the plan too. Like
Yeah.
He said that to
spoiler
Chris Pratt.
alert, I think
Oh, really?
like
He goes. He's like, don't play when Indiana Jones. When I die, Indiana Jones dies with me. Like that's it.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm Indiana Jones. Like he's like, and Chris Pratt's like, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to do it. And I was on the train of like Chris Pratt taking on Indiana Jones because I just feel like
It's just like, why are there any other actors in Hollywood today? Just let Chris Pratt do everything.
Yeah, right.
Just let Chris Pratt and Kevin Hart, just let them be in every commercial, let them play
wow,
every
you
part
really
in
got
every
it out
single
for
movie.
these guys.
I'm done with Chris Pratt.
I think you need
Done
to like
I stream
watch things that are
I
not
stream a lot
Chris
of
Pratt.
stuff in my house. Like we don't have like a cable plan.
Okay.
So like we're always streaming Netflix, Hulu,
Are you on
Disney
what do
Plus,
you have,
whatever
Chris
it is.
Pratt streaming or something?
No,
Because he
but
must have like
Whenever
some
like
package
I'm
deal.
sitting in front of a TV and watching cable and I see commercials, I'm like, Why is Kevin Hart in every single... Why does he have to sell every product there is in the world? And then, like, I watch movies, and I'm like, it's Chris Pratt again. Why does every movie have Chris Pratt in it?
I can't help but think that your selection of things that you're watching is heavy with these actors.
Maybe.
You know,
I don't.
because
Maybe you could be right. Maybe I'm just...
They're like, what do you want to watch tonight? He's like, I don't know. What's Passengers? Let's watch this movie called Passengers. That's fine. You know what? You want to watch Marvel movie? How about Guardians of the Galaxy? Damn it! Okay, how about let's play some Mario Brothers? Oh, no.
When the Super Mario Brothers trailer came out, whatever it was, like a month ago, I'm watching it with my wife, and like that first scene again, Mario's dropped into the middle of the Mushroom Kingdom, and the first thing that came out of his mouth, I can't remember what it was, I just went, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then... the total other side of the coin. Never in a million years would I say, get Jack Black to play Bowser. And Jack Black unleashed Bowser. Like, he sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yes, I heard that.
So, like, thumbs up to Jack Black. Chris Pratt, I don't... And again, I don't know if it's Chris Pratt making the decisions for this character the way it is, or if it's, like, the casting or the directing
the
to
direction
say,
might be
just
do it like this or whatever. You know, they might be telling
bring
them,
Chris Pratt to Mario for some
man.
reason.
Maybe.
Catherine, how you feel about Chris Pratt?
I like him as an actor. Speaking of character association, I watch Parks and Rec straight through.
Cool.
So I always associate
With
him
Andy?
with as Andy. So, but I think it's bad as Mario. Like, I feel like if they wanted to draw from an audience, and they think they were getting that from Chris Pratt, like, a lot more people would have enjoyed a more authentic Mario voice. I feel like than just getting some guy who doesn't sound like. When you first hear his voice, you're just like, that is not what I pictured Mario to sound like speaking at all, and it kind of just ruins it for me. Like,
It's jarring.
yeah, it's just like that. That's not really it. So it turns it. Yeah, I would have enjoyed a more like now. I would have been more inclined to see it if there were a Mario voice.
Are there any actors that you're just sick of, like Dan is?
I can't think off the top of my head, but I feel like if somebody said wanted to be, I might be in agreement. You know what I mean?
I feel like that when you said Chris Hart, Kevin Hart. I feel that way sometimes. I'm like, there's a lot of Kevin Hart movies out, and you do get a little, get a little saturated, you get a little sick of it, and they know that too, and they'll come out in a wave, and they just go away for a while because they know, like, how many are you going to take in a row? So I feel like The Rock is in a lot of movies.
I think you just got to watch other things.
At the same time, if he's in a movie, and I'm like, okay, it's a Rock movie, let's watch it.
And that's the thing. I don't dislike Chris Pratt. I don't dislike Kevin Hart. And I don't even think they're bad actors. I think they're good actors.
You just don't like that they're overused.
Yeah.
Well,
I enjoy them in most of the things that they're in. Like, I think they're good, and I think they're like, they put out good movies and stuff. But it's just like, I don't need to see them like
I felt
24/7, you know?
I felt that way about Shia LaBeouf. Because they were putting him in, and you should share this with me. I was upset when they threw him in Indiana Jones because I was like Transformers and then a few other things that he was in, and then I was already on a kick of like, stop putting this guy. And they kept saying like he's the next biggest star in Hollywood. They're going to see him in a lot of movies coming up, and I was like, oh really? And then and then Indiana Jones comes up, and I'm like, no, get him out of Indiana Jones. I don't want to see him in there. You know, and then the whole thing, with him being him, and then coming out, people didn't like him, some people love him, hate him, and I felt that way. I was like, stop putting him in the movie. I don't think he's that great. I felt like he was fine, but like they were just giving him all the roles, so I feel that way. Chris Pratt, I love Chris Pratt. You know, I love him as Star-Lord. I think he's great, and I like him in Jurassic Park. And but yeah, for this one casting, I feel like they completely. Once I had the same feeling you did where he came on. I was just like watching it, not even thinking about the voice. I was just like watching. I was like, wow. So you remember? I was like, what? And I heard the voice. I go, who is that? Who's that guy? I go, did they go back to the cartoon with not the cartoon, the live action with Captain Lou, which by the way is all over my timeline right now. I don't know why.
Really?
And I can't help it, but I'm watching how hokey it was. And as a kid, I was like, this is amazing. Mario and Luigi are real.
Yeah.
And then they're doing these ridiculous dances back and forth. And I'm watching it now, and I'm like, I know this is bad, but something about me is telling me that this is really good. And it's something about they put the Mario effects, like the
The
You know,
sound
like-
effects.
Yeah, and they put it with it, and it's, for some reason, like I'm with it. It's like Cobra Kai. Like it's cheesy. You feel like you shouldn't
Yeah,
like it, but you
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
That I just can't help it.
What was with that though? Like in the what, like 90s, I'll say, they like, you know, they had these like video game franchises like Super Mario Brothers, and when they kind of like transferred them over to like different media, it was like they didn't just stick with what people liked, like the Super Mario Brothers movie
Oh
from
no.
like the early 90s. Like, why change so
Yeah.
much to make it something that was like unrecognizable, you know?
We'll come back to that one second. Desmond says, does going for celebrity voices take the opportunity from the game genre's professional voice actors? Yeah, it does, really.
Sure. I think it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's odd. What's the guy's name? I believe, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say it was Billy West, the guy who does a ton of
Futurama,
voices. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the voice of Fry
Fry.
in Futurama. I think there's a bunch of other voices too. But like, and he's the red M&M. That's right. I think I saw an interview with him once. Maybe it was on like some kind of like voice actors documentary where he says like you could tell he's kind of annoyed about it, but he's like being more reserved in what he's saying, and he's kind of like it's confusing to me that like you have a group of talented people who were trained and have extensive experience to do one specific job, and that's act as an animated character. And then when the opportunity comes up to do that, when the biggest spotlight is on you, like Hollywood kind of turns away from those people and like reserves those roles for people who have experience doing other things. And he just kind of like left off by saying, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I agree with him.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Rain says The Rock is in the same way. Someone points out that he's not a fit for the role he's in. He says, "I get that a lot, and you're supposed to accept it because he's famous." Yeah, you know, it's just the way it is right now. Unfortunately, it's just that, you know, if you're famous, you know, if you put The Rock in a movie, you put Chris Pratt in a movie, that movie is going to have, you know, and I'm sure they know the number. You know, like if we know we put him in there, it's going to go up by 30%.
Right. You're going to get this much ticket
Right.
sales. Yeah.
Right. And if you think about all the things that could have been with different movies throughout the years, you know, I just saw a video on Avatar where apparently Matt Damon,
Never going to get away from that?
I never will, where Matt Damon was going to be in Avatar, and guess what? He was offered to be in the movie.
What?
Take a guess each, and then I'll tell you.
What they offered him to be in the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
take a guess.
Like money?
Yeah.
Like how
yeah.
much?
Yeah, whatever you think.
I don't
I
know.
don't even know what budget is these days.
Right.
This
I
was
mean, the original Avatar.
Guess.
This was like 2009.
I don't know.
It came out, right?
Might be 2007.
A lot of money.
Like, was it a big role? Was he going to be like the
Oh,
main
he's going to be
guy?
the main role, main guy.
I
He was
don't
going to be plant number 4.
Well, in that case.
Weird alien plant number 4. Was that Matt Damon?
Matt, we got to roll for you.
You know, like, you know,
Matt, could you lean to the left a little bit?
like 20 grand, you know.
20 grand.
20 grand.
I would be in
he's an
plant in
extra.
Avatar with 20
Well,
grand.
of course, but, you know, you're not Matt Damon.
That's true.
But anyway,
Good
I don't know,
point.
like $1 million. How about that?
No,
it's
Nah,
going to be
a
more
couple
than
mil.
$1 million.
It's gonna be
This
more
guy
than
don't know money.
Couple mil.
This guy don't know money.
Maybe
I don't know.
100 mil.
20 million. He's Matt Damon. $20 million.
10% of Avatar.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Why did he turn it
Wow.
down?
He had to for a moral obligations. He turned it down because he was working on Bourne Ultimatum.
Oh, he was working
Yeah,
on other stuff.
He
Yeah,
had
and
prior-
they were doing like they're in post production. They were wrapping up. He says he knows that in that franchise that they were going to need him for a lot of stuff. They have a lot of add-ons to do it at the end, and he says I could do it, but I really shouldn't, and he turned it down.
Wow.
And he says no one turned down more money than I did.
Wow.
You know, there's nothing I could do about it. Because think about it. Now he would have been in the second one, the third one, on forever. Because apparently there's 5. I saw an
yeah,
article 6 months
there's
ago. They were like, 5 apparently is going to be very much like 4. And I go, what are you talking about? Where's
We didn't
release?
get 2
Who's
yet.
watching these movies? Release 2. Stop talking about 4.
Well, I think like the next 3 are going to come out pretty quick, I think.
They-
I don't
yeah,
know. I
yeah,
think. That's
real
what they've been
quick.
saying for like
You're
10
gonna
years.
die before they come out. Scroll. Don't fool yourself.
I don't know if I even care anymore. I mean, it's going to be hard to get my interest back in Avatar.
Yeah, was there
you know?
anyone who was like clamoring for this whole like expansion to the
No.
Avatar universe? I don't.
Yeah.
I think that it was obviously it was a big success, and it did well. Obviously, it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was for a very long time had the record, and maybe it still has the record again.
I think it might still.
They were honestly
crazy.
playing reruns in this movie theater like a month ago.
Right.
Yeah.
It came back
So-
out.
so
Oh,
Endgame.
okay.
Well, they re-released
I think
it, like,
Endgame
the original.
beat
yeah.
it, and then they released Avatar again, something like that.
Oh, really?
That's crazy.
If I'm remembering correctly.
The
But
thing about Avatar, though, if I gotta just say like one quick thing about the ticket sales.
say one
and the whole
quick thing, okay? Yeah, say it.
Because when that movie came out originally, you know, it was shot for IMAX and in 3D, and seeing that on like a really good IMAX screen when it first came out was mind blowing. I mean, the what he achieved in that movie, like technically,
It is
it was
like
just visually
amazing.
But that's like in all like the right perfect, you know, like in your home theater you're not gonna have the same experience as like IMAX 3D, the way it was like, you know, Cameron shot this thing just so you know they would be like just perfect on that kind of format.
Right.
So that's great, and like I hope we're gonna get, you know, something like that ongoing, because Cameron, you know, in the past, usually, not always, but like a lot of his movies have like sort of broke boundaries, technically speaking. You know, him and ILM working together, giving us liquid metal Terminators,
Right.
and, you know, even the water tentacle in the Abyss, you know, that's
Right.
even earlier. And like not every time, but a lot of Cameron's movies have these like technological leaps that you're like, whoa, I've never seen anything like that on screen before. And, you know,
Right.
I got to say, that first Avatar movie, like, even though it was, you know, Dances with Wolves in Space, fine, it was still like amazing to see, and you know, just a technological achievement. So I'm hoping that we get something like that with these next ones. But
That's yeah.
Sir-
that's-
but story wise, it's gonna take something to really like pique my interest, because you've only showed us basically this story about indigenous people. That's basically like, you know, like I said, it's Dances with Wolves in Space,
Right.
pretty much.
And you're right. Like like that's what kind of gives me pause about like the whole expansion to the
Right.
universe and how well is number 2 going to do? I'm sure it's going to do plenty well. But I remember when Avatar came out, like for me at least, my experience with the marketing or my memory of the marketing was, this is a movie that James Cameron spent a million years making
Right.
to make it look like the most incredible CGI movie ever created, and like because of the technology in this film and James Cameron, it's gonna blow your mind. And like I don't know if they can like sell more movies with
Like
that
that.
same marketing. Yeah,
Right. Because we've seen so much, and we're at a
Right.
point technologically that it's hard to wow audiences, I think. But
Right.
uh,
But you
I'm
know it's
hoping
gonna
he
it's
could
gonna do
it again.
well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they were mentioned in Titanic on the chat
Right,
there
so
and stuff. I mean, Titanic, you know, you don't think of it as a special effects movie, but like the special effects in that movie are huge, and you know,
They're
they
Titanic,
are
some might
Titanic,
say.
you know, yeah, but they are, and again, that's kind of a groundbreaking achievement, and you know, I don't think that's necessarily why that movie is on that list of money making, because I think people went to see Titanic a lot because of the romantic story and DiCaprio and all that, more than wow, look at those special effects.
Right.
But Avatar, it was like wow, look at those special effects.
Yeah.
And I think
Right.
with all like the water stuff coming up, again, I haven't really watched anything, or I don't know much about the upcoming movies. But
I saw a trailer
I'm
of it.
definitely intrigued. I mean, you know, Cameron, like, you know, he's shown us that he can make water movies. He's got a ton of them, you know. And
Can you make water movies?
He's shown us
I make
that-
water movies.
you know, and he's shown us, you know, that he's usually trying to push that bar technologically. So, okay, if you could do it again, great. I'll you know, here's my money. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to check it out. Like, I don't know. That's how
Yeah.
I feel.
Todd says there were no special effects in Titanic. They straight up
Right.
sunk the boat
They
again.
just-
Wow. Oh, that's got to be expensive, though. Yeah. So, yeah. But I'm excited. Apparently, they got 4 or 5 going on, and you know that's fine if you're doing it. But let's release them. Let's get them out.
Right. Let's see what.
Let's do it.
See how that is.
Let's make it happen. And yes, I agree. It has to be amazing, because otherwise, why are you doing it? You want to have something unique. We'll see.
Right.
we have. I didn't see it. None of us here have seen it yet. Black Panther 2. The second
Panther.
one is out, and
Yeah.
we haven't seen it. You could tell us. Are you excited,
Yeah, I want to see it.
Catherine?
I'm excited. My brother said he cried.
He
Wow.
cried.
Him and the man next to him cried.
Wow.
Did they?
And then he told me that's the only movie that can make grown men like us cry.
Wow.
Wow.
The other guy said, "Get away from
Wow.
me, you freak."
So funny.
An
Yeah.
emotional.
He went alone. And my
Marvel
brother went
movie.
alone to see it, and he said he befriended the man next to him, and they cried together.
Wow.
So I'm excited to see it.
What a great
That's
story.
that's a good endorsement. Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think at this point, like, with Marvel, there's like a little Marvel fatigue, maybe.
Oh yeah.
You get sense it's kind of like after Endgame, it was like, all right, we'll release a few movies. They won't be like so huge in scope, but they'll be enjoyable. Take them in, enjoy them, catch your breath. But this one, just because of Chadwick Boseman, I don't know. I think I'm getting more revved up to see this one than I have for the last few.
Well, I saw the trailer. I saw it a few times, and the trailer I believe like hits the mark. Like they just understand, I think, how to portray that movie and to present it. And the trailer just really gets you.
Yeah.
I
I think just because of the emotion in the movie is what's
Yeah.
making me excited to see it.
Right. Yes. The what happened? Obviously, the fact that he passed away makes it more emotional. And
sure.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely excited to see it. Last things are Andor. I watch Andor. You stopped off at the first episode, right?
Just started watching it.
Oh, you just started watching. I
Just
thought you
started
started and stopped. You didn't.
No, because I was backed up for a while, and I finally finished Rings of Power. So now started Andor.
Yeah, I still got to finish Rings of Power.
Yeah, I got to go back to that.
It's a
one.
golden age for nerd television.
It is, and
But
I'll
so
tell you this
much.
much: I want my entire. I don't want to bring it up yet. I don't want to go there. I'll
Okay.
wait. I want my entire docket to be cleared within the next 2 weeks.
For
You want me to go? Do you want to do Andor first, and then we'll go into what's coming up?
oh,
Wait, what's coming up? Something's coming up.
I
Big?
Oh my god!
I feel like we have to
We
find
gotta
out.
know what it is at least.
Okay,
What
just
are you
tell us.
talking about?
Tell
What
us.
are you clearing your docket
Stop
for?
leaving us in suspense.
Yeah.
End of November. Willow.
Oh boy.
Disney Plus.
I'm also excited about it.
Out of
I'm
everything
not
that's
surprised
been out,
you're super excited about it,
That's
but
right.
I'm
Oh my
also
gosh.
excited about it for sure. Yeah.
like out of like House of the
wait.
Dragon, Rings of Power, the Marvel stuff that came out. Like this was a big year for TV
Yeah.
show.
Willow, how about that?
everything pales in comparison
Who
to
would've
my
thunk
excitement
it?
for Willow.
Willow
Would've
is
thunk it. Not me.
and from Disney's perspective,
Yes.
Willow is in the category of Tron 2, which I love Tron 2. I think it's beautiful. I listen to the soundtrack all the time. Like I want to say listen to it like once
so
a week.
good. So
And
good.
it's just fantastic. That's why I also drive. Besides doing impressions of people that I can't do, I listen to the soundtrack for Tron, and it's so good. But I feel like it was kind of like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's slip this in there between all of the Star Wars and Mickey Mouse and everything else. Let's throw this a little in there. And then it's the same thing. Like they got a busy schedule, and like they throw a little curveball in. And the curveball is Willow this time. And as you feel, I agree. Willow should get a lot more love. And maybe it will, maybe it won't.
Yeah, it might get a whole new audience now.
Is this a
People are
TV
gonna
go
go
or a
back.
movie?
It's a
TV
series.
show.
Disney
that's
Plus.
really good. That's
Catherine,
great.
Have you seen
Yes.
the movie Willow?
I have not.
Go home tonight and watch Willow.
Okay.
In fact, leave right
It's
now.
going to be interesting, like
Go watch Willow.
it'll be interesting to see whether like once the show comes out, whether it'll be better to watch like the show and then the movie for people that haven't seen the movie, or
Yeah.
should you go and watch the movie now before the show comes out if you haven't seen it? Like I'm, debating on whether to tell Catherine go watch Willow.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's going to be kind of interesting. I wonder like what they're. I have no idea like what they're doing story wise or anything about the show, but I'm definitely excited about it. I want to see it for sure.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
I
I haven't really read much. But like I've watched some interviews with Warwick Davis and the rest of the cast. Obviously watched the trailers a bunch of times. And it seems like very, very loosely, it's just like Willow needs to save the day again with his magic, and
So
so
sequel,
it's
basically, like
Right.
it's going to be
Yeah.
after the initial
Yeah.
events of the movie.
right.
Okay.
So like they don't.
Makes sense.
I don't think they show a Laura Dannon in any of the trailers. So I'm assuming she's going to be a reveal, like where she is, what she's doing.
Right. Allura is the
She's the
female
baby, right?
fighter.
The baby.
Oh, the
She's
baby.
in the movie, right? In the first movie.
So is it? I would love to see baby growing up. I'm sure that they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I want to see a baby growing up. Show me.
That's just
Show me.
Tony.
Show me. Show
This
me.
person used to be a baby.
What? You were a baby. What happened? When did you unbaby?
When did you unbaby?
I should do a rewatch of Willow before it comes out.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
But I'm
film
also
yourself watching it and go live.
okay.
Man.
And make it really close, just your eyes. You can be like,
I'm also reading the novel Willow right now too.
Ah,
wow.
cool.
So you're just
He's
like
really
engrossed.
excited about
You're
it.
like
Yeah,
you like put yourself in the Willow bathtub and
Yes.
you're just like,
I want to be ready for Willow when it
That's
comes
awesome.
out.
Go to Dan's house covered in new trees.
willow trees.
I'm but
is it a willow tree joke?
Right
Wow.
over your head.
But speaking of voices, though,
Combo.
I'm reading the novel out loud to my daughter when I put her to bed.
Aww.
So I'm
Very nice.
doing
Very
doing
nice.
all the voices too.
So she's ready for
as
this.
you've done.
Are you doing your Kaya impression? Kaya.
No.
No?
Aw.
You don't try to do that?
Oh yes, no, I do. I'm saying that's not it.
Oh.
He was like, that's like 5%.
Yes.
on that.
Willow's very
think.
like. He's a little,
Hoo-hoo-hoo.
no.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. Who am I? It's a bee. Hoo-hoo-hoo.
Are you crazy?
I think
That's
he's
not my
Chris
Mario.
Pratt.
You gotta do it.
That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good.
It's
No?
garbage.
Anybody else?
Straight garbage.
Oh man, he's a tough
He
critic.
never does it like that. That's not how he does it.
He does.
Todd
Like I
Like
played
that?
that in a video
No.
game. Like
No.
woohoo!
Yeah, that-
When you do
That was better. You
Yeah.
think that was better than
Yes.
he did? No way. I don't even think that was better.
when you do the triple jump, he goes woo, woo, woo,
oh,
woo.
that was good. Okay, that was
That
good.
is good.
That felt better.
I have to put it in context for you.
Yes, I need context. Without
He's like,
visual, I'm
when
nothing.
you hit A and then B and then
Oh,
that
okay,
sound.
all right. Now I can envision it. But no, Willow's voice is he's very whiny. Willow.
Do your Willow impression.
he is kind of whiny.
Kaya. That was
That's
awful,
okay.
but I got to get into it. But it's a lot of switching. Like I have to go from Finn Rizal to Willow
Yeah.
to Frangine to Rule to the Brownies.
It's a shame that what's his name won't be in it.
Yeah, Val
Right?
Kilmer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But they did say in an interview, Warwick Davis did say that like they're going to. I can't remember the exact wording that he used, but they said like
Gonna acknowledge the character.
something like that. Yeah, like he said like without saying Val Kilmer is going to be in the show, he said like Mad Mardigan has a very important part to play in this story.
Huh.
Something to that effect. And you know, Joanne Wally, Sorsha is in the trailer.
Right.
Frangine and Rule are both in the trailer. Obviously, Willow's in the trailer. New characters.
Jason Spector is talking about the pig.
It became a.
You're all pigs. So the pigs are they in it?
I hope so.
If they're not in it, I don't want to see it. Where are the pigs?
Pigs. What's his name? I think Von Carr shows up in the trailer too.
Von Carr.
Yeah.
Remind me who Von Carr
Yeah, I
is.
don't even know who
Von
that is.
Carr. He's like the warrior, the Nelwyn warrior. He's like the he's darker skinned. He's got dark hair, dark beard. Remember, he's the one who like tough guy walks around with the spear.
Yes.
And then like Burglecut wants him to. No, Von Carr stays here to protect the village.
You could say any name now, and I would just believe you. Burgle Cut and
Yeah, that guy.
Bloppin' Blue and Bloppin' Blue. Did you see he's back?
Hi Aldwin.
Burgle Cut. Is that what it is?
Burglecut. Yeah.
Burgle Cut. Sounds like the what I asked for when I get my ham at the deli. give me a honey turkey and give me some of the Burgle Cut.
What's his title? He's a prefect. He's the big bald guy who walks around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the mayor. He's whatever.
Yeah,
right?
right. Off good. You're no sorcerer. That guy.
I think I gotta go watch Willow again.
I think so.
Everybody go watch Willow again. I can't wait for
Go to
Willow.
Dan's house. He's watching Willow 24/7.
Watching it
When he ends, he's like, it's like one more time. Da 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 da. Burgle Cut.
I'll put it on again. Put it on again tonight when I go home.
Wow, good for you. What are you more a fan of, Indiana Jones or Bro Cut?
Who's a better, more iconic character? Burgle Cut? Or Darth
Would you
Vader?
play Burgle Cut if they offered it to you?
I think I would take the part
You
of Burgle.
would, no, you can't do
Absolutely.
that. That's even worse. You can't do
What are
it.
we, but are we talking about live action or voice?
Live action.
Oh.
You won't play short round, but you'll play Burgle Cut.
We didn't get into the whole short round thing, but there's a lot of implications.
Yeah,
there.
it wasn't
Again,
a
come
fair
on.
question, really.
Yeah,
It wasn't?
No. But it was, it was illustrate a point.
right.
So you would be Burgle Cut, is what you're saying.
He's not going to be turning any roles down from Willow, okay? If the people from Willow call up Dan, it's just going to be a yes.
I'll just hip check Warwick Davis right out of the way.
Yes, whatever it is.
Grab the wand from him. I'm Willow now.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
So we got last on the list here right now is we have Michelle. Oh, we didn't go over Andor. Michelle Yeoh is going to a Witcher spinoff, which I know nothing
Right.
about.
Yeah. That's
You know
what I
anything?
heard.
You know nothing.
I know it's going to be a Witcher spin-off show on Netflix. And
I know it exists.
And Michelle Yeoh is going to be one of the stars of it. And I'm looking forward to that because she's awesome.
Let's end it on Andor. I've been watching Andor. I have questions. I don't want to spoil anything for Dan.
Now.
You care? Or you don't
spoil
care?
it.
Or you do?
I have an idea of what it's about. Just trying to keep the spoilers as light as you possibly can.
Do you know the actors who were in it?
Do I know the names of the actors?
Yeah, any famous actors that are in it?
Yeah, just one.
Who?
His name escapes me right now. Gollum.
Andy Serkis.
Yes, Andy Serkis.
Okay. Do you know what Andy Serkis' role in the Star Wars franchise was before the show?
And what
He
what
played
was
another character in Star
He played another
Wars.
character.
You could just tell him. It's
Well,
not-
Well, no,
it's
I
not
don't
a secret.
think. Nah, I don't
Doesn't
want.
matter.
Andy Serkis?
Vinny Pro
played-
ruined so many things for us. I don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't want to do that.
understand.
Vin, if you're watching, you ruin things.
You ruin
You know you do.
things.
Vinny Pro always tells you
Can't help
something.
it.
He tells you something that's not going to ruin the movie, but it does ruin the movie just
Yes.
in a little way.
Just a little bit.
But it
But
does-
no, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying
spoilers,
anything.
no spoilers, but
no,
then-
but you know the part where Vader tells Luke that he's his father. No. I'm not ruining
In his
anything.
defense,
doesn't
in his
ruin
defense,
anything.
he won't do that. He won't do that. But he'll tell you something like
He'll tell you 99% of what you don't want to know.
He'll tell you like the little things that are like the little like, oh, that was
It'll
cool.
be like Luke faces Vader.
Right,
it'll be
right.
Like, he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight
Right.
him. He
Right.
fights him in the movie.
Right.
It's like, well, I didn't need to know that if I didn't see it.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was a good Vinny impersonation.
What was my Provenzano percentage?
I don't know Vinny as well, but from
5%.
oh nah,
Do it again. I don't know.
that was just
Oh
funny.
man, I was
No, that was good.
so into it before. Now I have
Vinny?
to
Yeah,
just
it's
get
tough.
right
I
back
don't know. Maybe
into
it was higher.
No, I'm not giving anything away. I'm just there's a part in the movie where he
good.
fights Vader and he says
The
And he
A at
tells
the
him.
end, yeah.
he tells Luke that he's his father. I'm not giving anything away. It's not even really a part of the movie.
Well done.
I think that was really good, actually.
Thank you.
That's really
good.
good. Every time I see the
75%.
whenever I see it for a second time, I'm on board. The first time, it's garbage to me. Second time, I'm on board.
I
Yeah.
gotta refine it a little bit.
Oh man.
So I'm
Andor,
curious if
yeah.
Andy Serkis is playing his, which a lot of fans know, his previous
Same-
role.
No. No. Not even close.
I'm just gonna keep doing this. Like maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's
Wait,
ridiculous.
why is that ridiculous?
Because it is ridiculous. Yeah, it is. It's not. It's not. I don't think
it's ridiculous.
I think it is.
Why?
I don't think that's. I think that's very far from like what they have in mind. Like, I think not only are you wrong, but you're
Wow.
way off. Like,
I'm just saying I
don't
think it's
so.
possible.
Possible.
You won't give me possible. You're giving me
Sure,
it's
I'll
impossible.
give you a possible. Fine. Sure, I'll
Thanks.
give you,
Likelihood? What? 10%? 0 is not possible. You can't say 1 and then
Fine.
take it away.
5%.
5. But why is 5% like my number today for everything?
Because you make us roll d20s. 5%.
Which is a 1.
Yeah. Or 20. It's also a 20. Not for nothing.
It's the upper 5%.
You have a 5% chance to roll anything on a 20.
So basically, if we roll a
Right?
natural,
Am I wrong?
if I roll a natural
No.
20, then that's gonna happen.
Go ahead.
Well, I might have a natural
Go ahead. Roll it right now, Tony.
die in front of me, which I'm going to roll.
I'll
Do it.
I'll play the
I'll
role
be
of Rob
impressed.
today.
You ready?
I'll be Rob.
Here we go. We're rolling it out.
I saw that roll. You weren't really trying to roll a natural 20 on it.
What do you mean? Why would I not want to roll the natural
very
20?
lackadaisical roll.
Yeah, I think.
You want a better roll?
Yeah, do it again. Yeah.
Here we go. Here
Do
we
it
go.
again.
Here we go. How's that? I get a lot of flair.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have it.
No, no. You see, you want it to happen. You
No, I just think that you can usually roll well when you try to.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah. I just,
See, you're not gonna argue with that.
I'm not because
Did Andy Serkis play a character in Rogue One?
No.
No.
That's
I
kind
don't know.
of why they have allowed him
he
to
was
be in this.
he was in the original Star Wars and he played Porkins.
No.
What? No, he didn't.
Stop.
Porkins. You know what Porkins is?
I know who Porkins is.
He was
He's
Porkins.
the guy from Raiders of
I'm
the
hit.
Lost Ark.
What?
He's the
is
guy
he
from Raiders.
Is he in Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh, he is in Raiders.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What part does he have in Raiders?
No, he is. He's
Indiana Jones?
Yeah, yeah. I
plays
think so.
Indiana Jones.
No, wait.
Porkins
He's,
Jones.
Wait,
Porkins Jones.
isn't he?
His long lost brother Porkins.
He
No,
plays a
maybe
guy.
not.
Top
Is he?
men.
Tup?
Tubman?
Top
Man?
He's the guy. You remember, like when?
Is this a Mega Man release?
No, tell me the scene because I'm trying to remember now.
So he's in school. He's teaching. Marcus comes to him and says, "Hey, there's some guys from the U.S. government here to talk to
Yeah,
you."
he's one of those guys.
He's
right?
one of those guys.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
is.
there's
He's
a
one
bigger
of those
guy and
guys,
there's a
yeah.
skinnier guy.
He's the big guy.
Like there's a skinny guy who's kind of like a little I don't know, like manic, and he's
Since the very beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the guy who's telling him, like, hey,
yeah.
You know, Hitler's nuts on the subject.
Wow. Well, that's Andy Serkis.
No, it's not. Anyway,
No, I honestly have no idea who Andy
he's
Serkis
a voice of a character.
He's a voice of a
plays.
character.
Voice of a character.
in the sequels. Okay.
Oh,
The
I think I know who it
sequels.
is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's not a
It's
secret.
got it.
You can
It's-
just look it up. It's not like a big
But yeah,
deal.
but if
Jar
it's
Jar Binks.
It's Jar Jar. It's an animated character.
I mean,
Miss
I was gonna
Andy
say it's
Serkis.
like
it's a digital character.
yeah, it's
It's Jar Jar.
kind of limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, guys.
it's
So
not the same character as he plays in Andor.
that was
It's
it.
not. I'll just say it right now.
That was your nerd news for the week. I hope you enjoyed that, guys.